The 2010 World Cup was the first ever to be held in Africa. At the time, many people expected it to be a failure due to the lack of development in the country and the various strikes by the construction workers. Still, it proved itself to be a tournament full of drama, romance, unexpected winners and losers, but most importantly, it defined an entire generation, creating a small little culture in the process. So join me and let me show you how iconic this tournament really was. The first thing that pops to my mind when I think about this World Cup are the Vuvuzelas. You either love them or hate them. Some people thought they sounded like mosquitoes, and others like me loved it and wanted to own one. But there's one thing that we can all agree on. They created a unique atmosphere that makes every clip from that summer immediately stand out. Even if you ignore the Vuvuzelas, the soundtrack for that World Cup is on a league of their own. It's already tough to create a unique anthem that defines a global tournament, but still manages to incorporate the host's culture as well. But South Africa not only had one, but two extremely popular songs, and it's still a hot topic for debate. Some people prefer Waving Flag, others Waka Waka. But the fact of the matter is, those songs define a generation and raise the bar for what a good World Cup song should sound like. And correct me if you think I'm wrong, but no World Cup song has ever surpassed them. Then you had Paul the Octopus, that somehow managed to get every match right in this World Cup. When you saw his predictions and he said your country was losing, it was losing. It was a fun thing that I hope would turn into a tradition, but he passed away a couple of months after. Gone too soon. And speaking of being gone too soon, we witnessed so many giant nations being toppled by underdogs early on in the tournament. Look, I get it, if you're from a big country and get eliminated by a smaller nation, it hurts. Trust me, I've been there. But from a neutral point of view, this World Cup had so many upsets. From France losing to South Africa and finishing bottom of their group, to Italy failing to win a single match in their group against Paraguay, New Zealand and Slovakia. And don't even get me started on England, who barely qualified to the knockout stage when they had a group made out of the USA, Algeria and Slovenia. I think it's safe to say that those three giants were the most disappointing teams in that competition. On the other hand, three unlikely teams stood out from the rest. The first was Paraguay, a nation who had just lost one of their key players due to a gunshot to the head and had never gone past the first knockout round. Nonetheless, their unwavering determination and resilience propelled them not only to lead their group, but also to defeat Japan in the round of 16. Their journey would conclude in an unfortunate match against Spain, marked by sheer bad luck. In this match, Cardoso's missed penalty and Valdez's disallowed goal, despite being onside, made the difference as Spain edged past them with a late David Villa goal. The other two teams are so connected that they might as well be introduced at the same time, Ghana and Uruguay. The Black Stars, similarly to the 2006 World Cup, managed to survive a tough group, but this time were faced with slightly easier opposition in the first knockout round. Successfully overcoming the United States, the Ghanaians were on the verge of securing a spot in the semi-finals, if not for an event that would go down in football history as one of the most controversial acts ever. Luis Suarez, who had been captivating Odysseys as one of the standout talents of the tournament, now had everyone and their mother against him. Asamoah Gyan would miss his penalty and Uruguay would beat them in the shootout to advance to the last four, which, despite their two World Cup wins, was still seen as a massive overachievement since Uruguay had missed the previous World Cup and the last time they went so far in a competition had already been 40 years ago. And if we're gonna mention the most impressive and most disappointing nations, we have to do the same for the players. Led by the greatest smeller in the game, Khedira, Ozil and Muller went from relative unknowns to world-class players in the space of a month. Suarez suffered more or less the same fate, while Forlan finally proved his worth in the grandest stage possible. Xavi, Iniesta and Villa were also in incredible form, while Hoban and Gyan also performed amazingly well, but didn't get celebrated as much due to their game-changing blunders. The most disappointing had to be Messi. Coming to this World Cup as the best player in the world was obviously gonna put a lot of pressure into the young player, and at times it was really evident as he finished the tournament without a single goal. Cristiano was also mediocre at best, but at least he managed to score, although I bet this goal was pure luck. But if you didn't like the winners or hope your nation had gone farther, you still had terrific matches to complement your summer. If goals were your thing, you had Portugal scoring 7 past North Korea and Germany humiliating Maradona's Argentina 4-0. Yep, he was our coach, and I shit you not, he selected this player to the final squad simply because he had dreamt Argentina had won the World Cup and Garce's face was the only one he could remember. But I digress. If drama was your thing, you had plenty to choose from. USA vs Algeria, where Landon Donovan scored the late winner to qualify his country to the knockout rounds, Slovakia vs Italy, where both teams needed a win to qualify to the knockout rounds, and as a result, we saw 4 goals in the last 10 minutes of the match. Germany vs England, a match that the Germans had won 4-1, but will go down in history as a match who marked the need for goal line technology. And of course, the previously mentioned Uruguay vs Ghana. However, I must remain impartial and ensure nostalgia doesn't distort reality. Spain won that World Cup. It was a terrific feat for a nation who, despite their immense talent, were still seen as massive underachievers. But the way they won bored me to death. Tiki-taka is rightfully celebrated, no argument on that, but Spain will go down in history as the most conservative World Cup winners of all time. They won every single match by a 1-goal margin and finished the tournament having only scored 8 goals. The lowest by any World Cup winner in history. So unless you were Spanish or a sympathizer of the country, you rooted against them in every match, only to see them come out on top. Perhaps it was the most frustrating part for me, but as time passed, I've realized that beautiful football doesn't always win and efficiency will beat it most of the times. Spain were the favorites at the start of the tournament, they proved their worth and they completely deserved it. If the Netherlands had won, we would all be saying that it's a crime how that golden Spanish generation never won the World Cup. But in the end, it won't be the matches or Spain as winners that will make this World Cup live forever. The Casillas kiss, the end of God 2.0, North Korea lying to their people and saying they had won the World Cup, Iniesta's late emotional goal, and most importantly, all the memories that you lived while watching this tournament are the things that will make this period live forever. Every World Cup is gonna hit differently. For me, this one will always sound like Vuvuzelas and smell like a strawberry cornetto in a hot summer afternoon. But what about you? What memories do you have about this World Cup? I genuinely made this video not for likes, but to listen to your own experiences and memories about this tournament. So if you've made it this far, leave just a word or a phrase in the comments that define this World Cup for you. Thank you for watching until the end, I appreciate you and I will see you in the comments.